Hello, welcome everyone. Let me know if you can hear me. I'm hoping I set my mic back up after I went to the restroom. Oh, hello. Oh, sorry. Hello. There's a lot of people from Europe here. I keep seeing a lot of people in France and so on. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. It's Friday. It's a good day because my husband's been out of town. He's coming home. My son's been out of town. He's coming home. Going to a concert tonight. I'm very excited. Welcome. Thank you all for being here. Thank you. Okay, good. Okay, so let me tell you about today. As I've said in lives in the past, the things I want to do with lives are share with you products that are really exciting for me, so you can kind of see how I think through products. Another is to offer you, specials from companies. Another is to use some older products. Another is to, just build community. So today I'm doing a little bit of all of those things. I have a lot prepared. That's what I always do. So this will, Mike's shaking his head. This will be, my lives go longer. That's the way it is. I'm not sure. I've been starting to do a shortened, an edited shortened live replay for a lot of my lives. But if it's one where the whole time is focused on the content, then it's hard to edit anything out. Like my last one I did with Simon Hurley, I couldn't really edit anything out because it was all very focused on the techniques, but still went 2 hours. We'll see how today goes. I will try to answer as many questions as I can. So please leave your questions. We'll try our best. I am going to be showing you a new product that just made me really giddy, but also using it with a lot of older products. And by using it with some older products, I'm hoping you'll see many ways that you could use it with things you already have. Now, I'm going to say it up front. This is a new line of ink for me. It's not new. I just was living under a rock and I'm just now getting to share it. I've been using it off screen, falling in love with it, and wanted to wait to share it with you until I really had experimented with it a lot. Now, here's the thing. I know there's a lot of inks out there. I know there are a lot of great products. I know we can't have everything. But I love to share the excitement of something new to this industry. You all know that because it keeps this industry thriving and going and exciting. So I thought I'd go ahead and share it with you today. Oh, Grandma Bonnie, thank you. Lisa Horton told you I would be doing this. Yeah, so I'll go ahead and tell you a little bit about the inks, and then I'm going to show you how these inks are different than other inks by using them for blending, by using them for like a splatter background, using them with layering stencils, using them with die cuts, using them with embossing folders, using them with stamping. So you're going to see a lot of different techniques here. The reason I'm excited about these inks is there are some properties to them that are very different than other inks that I've used, and you'll see that right away. These are the Lisa Horton Cloud 9 Interference inks. Now, I love shine and shimmer and all that on my cards, pearlescent, anything like that I love. And I don't remember where I heard about these inks, but I finally just bit the bullet and hoped I would like them, and I bought them all. I bought them all maybe like a month ago and have been playing with them. I'm glad I bought them all because they're really fun. So these are the Cloud 9 Interference inks. I don't know if Lisa's going to stop by. I don't know, Lisa. I sent her a message on Instagram and I said, hey, I got your inks. I really like them. And I told her we would be doing a live today. But I bought all these inks and I am glad I invested in them. So there's a lot of fun stuff. Mike, can you scroll it? I do want to tell you up front that I will be using these new inks that they're not on sale. They're new. Well, they're new to me inks. I think they've been out for a bit. Sometimes I'm under a rock, but I will be using it. They're new, and so they're not on sale, but I noticed that Simon Says Stamp is having 20% off their Simon Says Stamp brand products, and I actually am using some of those today. And funny thing is I planned to use those before the sale popped up. Also, this includes a lot of the Simon Says Stamp brand tools, like the T-ruler I use and the adhesive I use and a few other things. So the information on that sale is right at the top of my YouTube description. Below that in my YouTube description is a link to everything I'm using, including the inks. But what I recommend doing is right at the top of my YouTube description, there's a link that has the word live in it. For the visual supply list, you click that, open it up in a new window. You'll see the sale information there at the top, and you'll see all the products I use. Oh, Sherry said, Lisa Horton is a lovely person. That's good to know. She seems very lovely. I watched a couple of her videos to learn about these inks. So big thanks to her for putting that content out there. Okay, so all of that information is below, but if you can, please, oh, Lisa's here. Oh, hi, Lisa, welcome. A new friend, I love it. In the description below, click that live link. If you click that, it'll open up to a new window and you can see all the thumbnails there. So if you want to find something, it's just really a lot easier to look at that list than the description below. Okay, so, and I know not everybody's looking for a new ink line. I know this won't be everybody's jam, but that's the way it is with all videos. And this is just something that really excited me. I've mentioned in videos over the past few weeks that I've just kind of been, I don't know, in a little bit of a funk. And so products like this and the distress spritz and stuff like that really, I don't know, build my creativity. So I wanted to share. Okay, so let me go ahead and talk a little bit about the inks, and then just a little bit, and then I'm going to dive into using them and it'll explain more. So let's, Mike, it's not overhead. Hang on. We're having an issue. Just a second. Is it set up?
Yeah, I clicked the...
All right. There we go. Let me just set this real quick. Hang on. Okay. Mike, can you scroll it?
I'm sorry, boss. Don't fire me.
No, no firing. Okay. Okay. And Lisa said, Lisa's in the comments. Lisa, if I give any incorrect information, please say so in the comments, because I'm doing my best here. You know, I'm kind of, part of it is what I read or learned in Lisa's videos, and part of it is just what I kind of figured out on my own. Okay, so these are the Lisa Horton Crafts Interference inks, Cloud 9. She has other types of inks too, but the ones I'm talking about today are the interference. So these have that cool kind of color shifting effect to them. Yeah, at least Anna said she'd never heard of these. I hadn't either. You know, I try to buy as much as I can so that I know what's good, but this somehow I missed it. Okay, so these inks are very unique in that it's a dye and a pigment ink. You can see it right there on the package. It's a dye ink and a pigment ink. And it has an interference kind of shine to it. I do think it's best to just use it to tell you more. There are 24 colors. I'm going to show you the 12 that I'm starting with and playing with today because I think it's a good a good set of 12, but I'll show you all the samples. So this is a sponge ink pad. I like it because it's a deep ink pad, like the bottom doesn't, I feel like it's a deeper ink pad than most and it goes out to the edge. So it's a good size. And it's a foam, so it's a spongy, like a pigment ink pad would be, okay? But this has dye and pigment to it. I am using Tim Holtz Tiny Ink blending tools with the foam today, but you can use these with a blending brush. In fact, that's what Lisa does. I don't have enough blending brushes. I had to order more to use those today, but I had just gotten a lot of these, so I could use these. Either will work, but I do recommend you designate either your brushes or your inking tools to this ink. Don't mix it with your other dye inks. Because it has dye and pigment ink in it, I would keep these just for my interference inks. So I'm using Tim's Tiny Ink blending tool. You could use the regular. So this is a very kind of juicy ink pad. And when you put it onto white, you get that beautiful color. This one's called Peacock Tails. And look at that beautiful color. Now the nice, Heidi, I'll tell you the interference in a moment. So the nice thing about these inks is that they blend very nicely. So see if I get like a harsh line there, I can blend that out just by kind of spreading it around. That is thanks to it having dye and pigment properties to it. The dye ink is going to give you that great bright color that soaks into the paper, but that bit of pigment is going to sit more on top of the paper and help it to blend easier. And you can see it's a beautiful blue. This is on white cardstock. Now the interference part, I'll even do this so you can see. Now the interference part comes in, it's got like a color shifting when you tilt it in the light, but I'm going to heat set this real quick. Sorry for the sound. Because it has like dye and pigment properties to it, it does take a bit to dry, but you can also just heat set it. Okay, now watch when I tilt it in the light. Do you see that shine? That's the interference. It's got this like mica, it's got mica in it, I guess. And so you get a little bit of a purple shimmer coming on it, okay? But here's the cool thing, that's on white. So see how it's bright blue on white? This is the peacock tails. Watch what happens when I do the same thing on black. Now it doesn't look like much on the camera at the moment, but watch when you tilt it, it's full on purple, okay? Let me drag this too on here just so you can see it heavy. Let me heat set it. So these inks look different on white cardstock and black cardstock. I mean, completely different, like totally different color. In this case, with this one, it looks blue on white paper and it looks purple on black. That's the same ink pad. Now, I'll talk more about this effect, but what the ink pad lid is, whatever color is like on this side of the lid is what it looks like on white. Whatever's on this side of the lid is what it looks like on black. So I did a little swatch. I did the inking on white cardstock and I put a little dot there. And I did on black cardstock and put a little dot there. So I knew what this ink pad would have to offer. So you're talking two very different colors from one ink pad. Now, I think what I've been able to gather, and I think this is right, is really the dye ink color is the ink that absorbs into ink. It's transparent. I believe like the dye ink in here is blue, so that's why it shows up on white, because dye inks show up on white. But dye inks don't show up on black, right? Because they're transparent. So the pigment part with the mica is more purple. So you get these two different colors from one ink pad. You'll have to apologize if I check my watch and text. My husband's driving from North Carolina, my son's driving from Tennessee, and my daughter's coming back from the pool. So, you know, a million things. So, and regardless of whether it's on white or black, it's got that shimmer to it. But on the black is just mind-blowing. Look at that, okay? Now, a few things about it. They do react with water. I'll show you a technique for that. I'm going to show you the 24 colors, and I will focus on 12 of them today. I know Simon Says Stamp just got these in stock, and they have more coming. They got the first 12, the colors that I like the most, and they're going to have more coming soon because they come from over the pond. This ink is by Lisa Horton Crafts. Lisa Horton Crafts, okay? So one ink pad gives you two very different looks, but it also gives you a lot of opportunity for cool techniques. But let me show you, I have 12 today that I'm going to be playing with, as I mentioned. And you can see, like, one ink pad gives two very different looks, whether it's on white or black. So I've got those 12 here. And these are the 12 that I'm going to use today. So if you look at how, when you tilt it in the light, oh, I shouldn't have put it in this sleeve. Let me just grab one. Let me take one out here. So you can see how it's yellow on white, but then this, when you tilt it in the light, is like a rose color. So there's lots of these here, and they all change very big time. Like this one, I think is, hang on. The one that I think is really cool is the Regal Gray. It's a beautiful gray ink. Everything's harder when people are watching. It's a beautiful gray ink when you stamp with it or ink blend with it. See, that's a nice gray. But when you tilt it on the black, it's purple. And you can see there's a little purple interference effect on the gray too. All right, so there are a lot of ways you can use these. I do love that they're easy to blend. Yes, you can use this on craft cardstock. You can use it on other colors of cardstock. I'm using white and black because that's where you see the biggest like change, you know? But I think I do have something where I stamp it on like a mint color cardstock. There are reinkers available, and Simon Says Stamp will be getting those too. Okay, so these are the 12 I'll be using today, and you'll see them in action a lot. And these are the other 12. So there's a bunch, and you can see they all look different on white and black cardstock. So all these swatches are on white and on black. So there's a bunch of them. But the ones that I'm really using today are these 12. And there's a bundle for the 12 in the description below. Okay, so yes, you can use them to watercolor. They react with water. I'll do a little reacting with water, but yes, you can watercolor with them. Beautiful shine. Very, very unique ink, at least in my eyes and from my experience. So let me get into playing with them. I feel like I'm going to start with some ink blending because I feel like that is sometimes the best way to get to know an ink and demonstrate it. I will then do stamping because that's the other big way, right? Okay, so I have 2 pieces of cardstock here. I will be using white and black throughout this video. Let me tell you about the white and black inks white and black cardstocks I'll be using. White, most of the time I think today I'm using Hammermill white. It's smooth, or I'm using Neenah Classic Crust Solar White. Either white is great. As for black, most of the black I'm doing today is the Tim Holtz Heavystock black. I cannot stress enough how beautiful this black cardstock is. Let me show you a comparison. So here is another black cardstock. Look how, most black cardstocks are like this. The Tim Holtz Heavystock, look how much darker black it is. It's heavy, heavy weight. I think it's 120 pound, and it's got like this velvety feel to it. So I will be using that today, but you definitely could use whatever black cardstock you want. In fact, sometimes I'll use regular black cardstock just to show you that it works with that too. So I'll let you know, but most of the time I'll use Tim Holtz Heavystock, okay? And it's so good. If you have his matte black alcohol ink cardstock, it's the same thing. It's just now in bigger sheets and called Heavystock also, okay? All right, let's get going here. I am going to just demonstrate first on white. So I'm gonna grab 2 colors. I'm gonna take the Opal Blush, which is this beautiful like blue on white cardstock, but then it goes to like this opally pinkish color on black. And by the way, I find that this doesn't wipe off. Once it's completely dry, it doesn't wipe off. I was really concerned about that. You could use a fixative if you want to, but as long as it's really dry, I don't see any of it wiping off from my experience. Okay, so I thought I'd show you also, so I didn't have to have a inking tool for each, but I wanted an inking foam for each. I created this, and I'll add the other 12 on here later on, but these are just the 12 I'm doing today. This is an Altenew zipper pouch that I'm going to keep it in. But I created this board, and I put little pieces of Velcro on it so that I could take the little blending foams and stick it on there. And I know that this blending foam is for peacock feathers. This one's for Opal Blush. And that way I don't have to have one tool or a tool for each of them. I just have a foam for each. Does that make sense? Okay, so I have this, and I'm going to keep this close by so I can grab the one I need. So here I'm going to do Opal Blush, and I think I'll do Lavender Field, if I can find it. Here it is, Lavender Fields. I have a few of these inking tools over here. Okay, so I have these. Remember, you want to keep whatever inking tool you plan to use, whether it's brushes or the foams, you want to keep that just for this line of ink. I think I'm mostly going to use foam. I find it works great. It's cheaper than having a brush just for these. I think the foam works great. Okay, so this is, normally I would put a piece of Velcro and the little foam underneath, but this is a deep ink pad, so you can't put it under there and it rests. So I did it on a separate sheet here. And this is really handy to do. Okay, so I'm gonna first blend onto, yeah, let's do this. I'm gonna first blend onto the Hammermill Smooth White, but you could use whatever color or whatever white cardstock you want. Now, the nice thing is this blends very well. You can see how, like, I'm not getting those harsh edges, and I don't need to take much effort here. So now see, if I want that to blend out more, you just put more ink on it and it'll just keep blending. Are you giving me a message, Mike? Okay. Mike sometimes writes me messages and it throws me off. Okay. Okay. Now, let me show you this. Okay, watch. You see that shine? Isn't that pretty? Now it'll look even better when it dries, but let me add another color here. I'm gonna come in with Lavender Fields, and I'm not doing the full panel, I'm just doing a little bit, but see how that goes on very smooth. It's very buttery. I would say it's like, it feels slicker, more buttery than any other inks that I've used. And you can see how I can blend those very nicely. Because it has the dye and the pigment property, you can blend better with it. Does that make sense? So this is great for blending large areas. Yep, so see that overlap that you get there where the two colors overlap, and you can blend it even more than that if you want to. Mike, you can add them if you want. Okay. Underneath. All right, so there we go. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? I just love it. Love it, love it, love it. So that is on white. I'm gonna let that dry, but first, I thought I'd go ahead and demonstrate something else with this. Let me find it. Water. Water, yes, it does blend like a dream. Yeah, if anybody has these, and like, let me know your thoughts on how it blends. Now I'm just taking some water and I'm just tapping some water on it, and you'll see right away how reactive it is with water, okay? So you can paint with these too if you want to. You can do a lot of inky techniques, and you can see right away it reacts with the water. Let me heat set it a little bit. I'm sorry for the noise. All right, and look at that. So you get that white effect because it reacts with water, but see, it's hard to tell, but it has that ear interference effect, that opaly looking effect, okay? Isn't that pretty? It's really pretty in real life. And one thing that you could do, say you do an ink blended background with Distress inks or with Gina K inks, any inks, you could do that and then maybe go over a similar color with this, so part of it has some shimmer to it. It just is nice to have that bit of shimmer to the background. Question, what is your storage foam done on? So this is a magazine divider. It's the dividers I put between my cardstock back here. I think they're linked in the description. But really anything, you could put them on, you could like laminate a piece of cardstock. I just wanted something durable, and I keep it in that sleeve. Okay, what size are the ink pads? Are they 3x3? And, let's look. They are, yeah, about 3x3. Okay, so there it is on white. Now let's take the same two and apply it to black. This is Tim Holtz Black Heavystock. I'm telling you, this stuff is just, I wish you could, somebody, was it Mindy? Somebody texted me and said, you said it was nice, but not until you touch this Heavystock do you realize how velvety. It's just beautiful. It looks so pretty in real life. Okay, I'm going to do the same inks, but I'm going to do like different blobs of ink, okay? So somebody said, how is it different from Distress inks other than the shimmer? The interference effect and the fact that it does different colors depending on if you're on a light cardstock or dark cardstock. Two very different colors. So like this ink pad here on white will give you blue, like you see here, but on black it's going to give you pink like you see me doing here. Okay, so that's what's really unique about it. And I don't know. I don't know. Lisa's a genius. I don't know. It is thicker than Distress ink. Distress ink is a dye ink. This has some pigment properties to it. So pigments are opaque. You can't really see through them as much, and they sit on top of the paper more and take a bit of time to dry. So it gives you that flexibility to blend the colors out even better. So there you can see the pink. So this color at the top of this paper, that blue, is the same ink pad as I'm getting here with the pink. And this will become more pink as it dries. I'll heat set it in a moment. Yes, you can do this on colored cardstock, so it'll have different effect. I'll demonstrate that when we stamp in a moment. Now I'm gonna come in with some, look at that. Oh, you can't see yet. Now I'm coming in with the Lavender Fields. This ink pad looks purple on white cardstock, but it looks green on black cardstock. Okay, I might add some more in there. Let me heat set this and I'll show you. Hang on. There are 24 inks available, and I think they sell them in 2 sets of 12. I am using one of the sets today, and it's linked below at the top of my YouTube description. You can see how they are. Okay, so let me show you. These two were created with the same color, the same ink pads. The Opal Blush ink pad, this one here, created this blue, and it also created this pink. You see that pink interference? Then the Lavender Fields created the purple on here, but on here it's green. And I'm putting this on very thin here. I'm spreading it out. You can put it on thicker and it would be more opaque and even more shine. Let me get a cloth here, hang on. All right, so you could put this on heavier, you can dry it and then put on even more. I think I want this one to have some gold in it. So I'm gonna go grab my charcoal gold. I have several of these tools. They'll make it easier today. Now this, if you put this onto white cardstock, it's like a charcoal color. It's a dark color. But on the black, it turns gold. So by the way, I could blend these colors from one to another better. I just want kind of like this, you'll see what it looks like in that. I wanted this kind of just different areas of color, and we're gonna step it up in a moment. But you can see how fast that is to put down. Let's put a little through here too. Okay, isn't that fun? So what's the difference between this and oxides? These both have dye and pigment properties, both react with water, both blend very well. These are interference inks, so it's going to have that color shifting effect, and it's going to look completely different color on white and black. Distress oxide inks, if you use a pink Distress oxide ink on white cardstock, it'll come up bright pink. If you use it on black, it comes like a muted pink. Here, for example, this one on white cardstock gives you purple, on black gives you green. So it's just fun. Let's be honest, it's just fun. I'm sorry to heat set this. The colors are very bright. I'll show them to you again. They're very bright on white, but there are some options that are more muted too. It just depends on which you're using. So look at that, isn't that cool? I wanted to have like a kind of like this textury kind of wavy effect to it. Isn't that fun? Yeah, and oxides are a little more, Mindy's right, a little more chalky looking. These are not. They have this interference effect to it. You can see it on the white too. See that shine? I mean, that's great. And this is that charcoal. See how it's got the gold shine? It's just really cool. Okay, now remember, these will react with water. I don't find, like here, remember I splattered water on here? You can see it very obviously. I don't find it as obvious on the black, but I'm gonna show you something else we can do. So I'm gonna just dip in here. Splatter some water on here. Now, normally I would leave that. I'd let that sit for a minute, but you know, we don't have time for that. I'm gonna come in and just pick up some of that, and you'll start to see it react. Let me heat set this. Are these inks the same as hybrid inks? No. I think it's a form of hybrid. Usually a form of hybrid is a form of a mix of dye and pigment type of inks. But this has that mica interference to it that I don't think I've seen in another ink pad. Now, here is what I like to do. You can take this. This is the charcoal gold. You can see it looks really dark here, but it has that gold interference effect. So let me show you. I'm going to add a little water to it, so I'm mixing it. So I'm making kind of shimmery watercolor here. And what's going to happen is you won't see that dark charcoal color on black cardstock because that's dye. It's going to absorb, you won't see it. But the gold shimmer will sit on top. So now I'm going to splatter, spatter, flick, whatever you want to call it, the gold on here. And it won't look like much until it dries. And you'll have this on my face. All over my face. And I'm going to heat set this. So yes, you can paint with these if you want to. If you love the look of, you know, like a metallic watercolor, totally could do that with these. Now I did gold splatter and some of my background is gold, so you won't see it much on the gold. But look at here. Can you see there? See that gold, those gold droplets? You can see some up there. It's really pretty. And I did that a couple times with this one. Now this one here, look at that. Look at that. Is that not the coolest thing in the world? It looks like outer space. So this one I did a few different interference. For this one I did the, let's see, I did Regal Gray, which gives you a purpley effect on black cardstock. Remember, this is black cardstock. I did Lemon Drop, which is crazy cool. It is yellow on white, but it gets that rose color on black. And that's where that rose is. And I did Tropical Paradise, which is bright pink on white, like a flamingo pink, and then like this bluish purple on black. And that's what gives us that color. So I did those colors on the background, and then I splattered with the charcoal gold. So isn't that cool? I mean, yeah, it looks like the Milky Way. So you can do really cool effects with it. I like the colors on this one better than the ones I chose there. So same ink pads, completely different colors and looks, okay? These were done with the same ink pads. Isn't that fun? So these blend well, they react with water. So that's what I've shown you so far. Again, there are 24, and I'm focusing on the 12. So here are the 12. Somebody asked if they're bright. So on white cardstock, look how bright these are. So these are bright colors, right? On the black, they have that interference when you tilt it in the light. These are the other colors that I'm not using today, but I'll use in a future video. So you can see, I mean, some of these are really, really bright. But then some of them are, you know, your typical kind of browns and grays. Okay? It is mesmerizing. That's the word for it. Janet, yep. Mesmerizing. It's mesmerizing. Okay, so far I've shown you that you can blend with these. They're reactive. And this is why I was really excited about it. You know, I got a new ink line, and honestly it sat there for a bit because I just hadn't had time to play with it. And then when I started playing with it, I was like, okay, there's more than meets the eye with these inks. So then I reached out to Lisa on Instagram and I asked her, and she linked me to a few little videos. And I started to learn more of what there is. Lila's home?
Yeah.
Okay, tell her she can come down if she wants. Okay, and yes, they do sell ink refills. All right. Let's see. No, not at Simon yet. But these are, I mean, let me show you. Let me show you. Hold on. Yeah, these are coming from overseas, so it'll take time to ship, but really, these ink pads, right, it'll take a while to use it up. Let me show you how juicy these are. Hang on, let me Make a little.
Moist.
No, don't say that. Okay, watch. I mean, these are, look how wet and juicy these ink pads are. I mean, they are very generous with ink on it. Cindy asked, can you use stamps with them? Well, funny you ask. That's what I'm going to do next. That's what I'm going to do next. And listen, I know there are a lot of great products out there. I get it. I'm just sharing my excitement with you. I was thinking about like our second oldest Audrey is a teacher. And when she gets like a new classroom with new stuff in it, she gets really excited, right? It's the same thing as me. When I get new toys, I get excited. And this one just, I guess I really didn't know how cool it was until I started playing with them. All right, let me move some stuff. Keep the questions coming. I will try to answer as many as I can. All right, hang on. So now we're gonna do some stamping. Also, some of the questions that are gonna pop up, I know I'll answer as we go. All right, so these inks have that interference look to it, and they look very different depending on the cardstock color you're using. All right, let's do some stamping. I am going to use, this is Simon Says Stamp Organic Leaves. I just thought this was cool looking. Does the mica shimmer smear in your hands? I have found when it's completely dry, let's see if I have a clean finger. It's not, it doesn't come off. But you want to wait till it's completely dry or heat set it very well. Just like you would with a regular pigment ink, okay? But no, I don't find the shimmer coming off. I had actually asked Lisa if she uses a fixative, and she says she doesn't. You don't see any shimmer coming off. Okay. Okay, so let's go on to stamping. Stamping. Can you layer them on other inks? You definitely can. You definitely can layer them on other inks. All right, let me do some stamping here. I'm going to do on a few different things. I'm going to do on 3 different colors of cardstock. So you can see the exact same stamping, exact same inks on white, on colored, and on black. This white that I'm stamping with right now is Hammermill white. It's smooth. It's linked below. The black is the Tim Holtz Heavystock. And this is, I don't know, I found it in my scrap drawer. It's got a lot of texture to it. It may not be great for stamping, but we're going to try it. Let's start with on white. And this again is the Organic Leaves background stamp from Simon Says Stamp. And remember, Simon Says Stamp products are on sale 20% off right now. So this stamp's on sale 20% off. I just thought it was a really cool stamp, and it demonstrated this well. All right, I am using Summer Garden, which has a green and a blue effect, and Peacock Tails, which has a blue and a purple effect. Let's first stamp with Peacock Tails. Okay, so this, according to the package, blue on white cardstock, black or purple on black cardstock. So when I ink this out, it will be a blue color. This is what it's gonna, that's the dye property you see, I think. If Lisa's here, she can tell me. It seems to me that the dye ink is what you see here, the blue. And that's what it's gonna show up really well on white, but it'll also have that interference to it. I'll stamp this twice. I'm a double stamper no matter what, because I don't really take the time to ink up my stamps super well. Ooh, there was a boogie in there. Okay. By the way, I just got these, Simon sent me one of these black claws. They're nice size. I went and bought more. They're really nice. This is what they are. Those are on sale, 20% off right now. That's linked below too. They're really nice. Everybody's always looking for an option. The other claws I use, I saw somebody say theirs leaves lint behind. I've never had any lint left behind. These definitely don't. These are microfiber. Okay. So now I'm going to stamp that again because I'm a double stamper. All right. So you can see they stamp very solid. This is the Summer Garden one. I have a grip mat in there. And when you tilt it, you can see that interference shimmer, okay? No, this is not Summer Garden. I lied to you. This is, where'd I put it? Peacock Tails. cocktails. So it looks blue with a purple interference. Do you see that interference? It's like opal-y. Does that make sense? All of these products are in the description below. I saw some people ask. Are in the description below. You can also click that link. That's right at the top of my description. It has the word live in it. If you click that, it'll open up to a new window where it is all. So these are, you can get these at, I know they're at Simon Says Stamp right now, and they have more coming, so it'll be on pre-order too. But everything's linked below. But do click that live link. It'll take you to another window, and all of it's there. Much more information. Refresh it, because Mike will add things if I didn't have it in there. I'm only using one set right now, the bundle that's below. I have them all, but I thought that was a little overwhelming, so I'm only using 12. Nope, I have them all. The others are in my cabinet. Okay, so this is on white. Now let's do the same stamping on black. All right, Brianne, hi Brianne. Brianne is there in the comments, and she just linked the visual supply list. And yes, the 20% off is only on Simon branded products, which this stamp is in that list, and so is the cloth I'm using. The inks are not on sale. Lisa's here. Lisa, tell me if I've said anything wrong. Oh, you can't see it yet, but I can see it. Hang on. Okay, so I'm a double stamper. Lisa has lots of great videos too, so you can go check out her videos. But I'll be using these more. Because I feel like say you're doing ink blending or like layering stencils, you could do like create a blue flower and have one of the layers be the shimmer. So cool. Now watch this. Wow. This is the same ink pad. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy? Now this is very wet still, so I'm gonna have to heat set it, but I'll heat set at the end. Look at that. Isn't that cool? That's one ink pad. Brianne, I am not the goat. Apparently Lisa Horton's the goat. Okay, now let's do the same thing on mint color cardstock. Because this is a lighter cardstock, it'll appear very blue because we know that this ink pad on light color cardstocks appears blue, on dark color cardstocks appears purple. Okay, but I just wanted to show you, you can use these on colored cardstocks too. Isn't that crazy? I know, don't blame me, blame Lisa. Yeah, Lisa, I think Lisa's in the UK. Hey, you can put on her videos. It's kind of like, I don't know if any of you have used the Calm app before. When I can't sleep sometimes, you can go on the Calm app, and people with really nice voices will read you like really boring bedtime stories, so it puts you to sleep. Like Matthew McConaughey, yeah, Harry Styles, people like that. Well, I want Lisa to read me a bedtime story because it's just so calming. But then in her videos, she uses these inks and they're exciting. So, okay, this is a texture cardstock, so I'm not getting great stamping here, but you saw I got very good stamping with it on the others. Okay, so this is the color cardstock. It's a light color cardstock, so it's appearing blue, but it has that purple interference to it. All right, now for the fun part. Let me clean the stamp off a little bit. Oh, by the way, I find these don't really stain much, at least the colors I've used, and a lot of it, see, it comes off your hands very well. So it is a pigment ink, so it's a little messy, but it cleans up very easily. Okay, so let me clean this off. Now, when I clean, I don't have this in the description. Mike may need to add it. It's the Hero Art scrubbing block. This is what I use to clean stamps. Cindy, yes, you can use it with Better Press. I don't show that today. Unless I have time, you can remind me, but I'll probably run out of time. But yes, I tried it. It works great. Okay, so this is the Hero Art scrubber block. You can get it comes with, I think, or you can get these spare pieces and you peel it off and then you can put a new one on. It's Velcroed on. And it allows you to clean your stamps really well. And I use it with my Ultra Clean. I just recently bought a new one because I got mine all inky and I'm weird like that. So anyways, mine's new. But you just take the scrubber part off with the Velcro, and I just run it under my sink, let it dry, and then I'm good to use it again. And look how easily that cleans that off. And then I just take a wet cloth or paper towel. Eesh, this is Velcroed to everything now. And wipe the stamp clean. Okay. Yes, the scrubber block is great, Christine, it's great. And you can use it with whatever stamp cleaner you like. I like the Hero, it's Ultra Clean. I've been using it since the first day I stamped. Okay, it's getting hot in here. I gotta pull the hair back. Okay, now let's do some more stamping. We're gonna go back to white cardstock. And I'm gonna take the same stamp and rotate it. And so last time it was like this. I'm just gonna rotate it. So we're gonna have overlapped leaves, but I'm gonna do the overlapped leaves in another color, in a different ink color. Everybody's saying that Lisa's awesome. This is good. This is good to know. Good to know. Okay, this time, so last time was Peacock Tails. This time I'm using Summer Garden. Now this is green on light color cardstocks and more of a blue on dark color cardstocks. So this is gonna appear green here because I'm stamping onto a light. So I'm stamping right on top of what I did before. I wanted to do like a really layery background. Mike, can you switch to the questions so I can try to answer some? Do you suggest a specific paper that works best? Lisa, I'd love to, if Lisa's still here, Lisa, let us know if there's a certain cardstock you like using. I found you can use, everything I used was fine. This mint color is like a ripply kind of cardstock. It was just in my scrap. So see how it looks ripply there? That's because it's the texture of the cardstock. But on other cardstocks, normal cardstocks we use, it wouldn't have that. Okay, so this is the white. So now, can you see all that interference? See that shine? Sheila said, which of Simon Hurley's paste mimic these inks? Simon Hurley has solar pastes that when you put on black, they got that interference look and they're bright. And when you put on white cardstock, it has the interference look, but they look like white. These are bold color on both, but the color changes depending on what you work on. They're just different, I'm telling you. All right, look at that. Yeah, somebody asked me to put the next to a distress. Now, distress inks are by far the most technique favorable inks out there. So this is a distress ink, and this is the interference. So the ink pads are the same size. So yeah, if you have an ink storage unit for these, these would fit in it. Okay, so I stamped that Summer Garden on white. Let's stamp it on black now. You're gonna see how different it looks. Can you rinse out your foam daubers? Somebody asked that. I don't think so. I don't think they're meant to be used that way. I think they're more, you use them for a long time and then replace them. You can get a pack of the foam like refills, and it's inexpensive, and I just keep one for each color. Oh, Donna asked, how's my shoulder? She worries when I press this hard. My shoulder, the main problem is better, but there's still a problem. But that's okay, it doesn't hurt, it just feels weird. Okay, look at that. See how there's another layer, but it's gonna become more intense when it dries. It's very wet right now, especially because the Tim Holtz Heavystock is such a heavyweight. I think it's kind of got a coating on it, not much. So it takes a little bit more for it to dry. I'll heat set it in a moment. Hi, Simon. Simon, these inks would work really well with your paste. Okay, now that Summer Garden, since this is a light color cardstock, this will appear green on this cardstock. I shouldn't have picked this ripply cardstock. Simon has been summoned, Rosie said. All right. Did Vicki ask a question? Did I miss how and what Jennifer used to swatch the ink pad? I didn't stamp my swatches to save time. I just ink blended a little bit on my swatches. I'll show them again in a minute. Okay, so there you can see how it looks on like a color cardstock, and it's got that interference effect. And so let me heat set a little bit of this, and let me clean. Somebody said you can wash the Ranger foam. Okay, apparently you can. I haven't. I just have one, like I don't know, I find they they hold, I don't know. They're inexpensive, so I have one for each color family. Okay. Yes, Simon's in the house. Young Simon. Young Simon. Okay, so that is the Organic Leaves, I think it was called. I'm gonna do one more thing to it. I'm gonna ask you to vote. Well, no, I'm not. I'm gonna do one, and I did one earlier, so you'll be able to see both. Okay, now let me heat set this, because see, it's very wet still. Let me heat set it so you can see what it'll look like. And Mike, are there more questions while I do this? Sorry for the noise. Can you layer them on other inks? Yep, so you could, for sure, it'll add that interference effect. You just want to keep in mind that the inks have a color to them, which obviously is different depending on what cardstock you're using, so it will change the color underneath. But what would be cool is, say you're doing a blue layering flower on white cardstock, make one of these blue inks one of the layers. So one of the layers of your layering flower is done with shimmer. All right, so let me show you what we got here. Look at this. So it doesn't look like much straight on. So you can see it stamps very well. Isn't that beautiful? So these three were done with the same inks. It just depends on what color cardstock you're working on, light or dark. But they all have that interference effect. So you can see that bit of interference there, but you can really see it on the dark cardstock. You could do dark gray, but I really feel like everything stands out nice on black. How long does it take to dry without heat setting? I don't know, Annalise, because I'm impatient and I just heat set it quickly. I think it wouldn't be that long, I don't think. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna do one more thing to these because I really like this background. This is an older I think it's whatever's linked in the description. I think it's 2 maybe. Okay, so this is a really old Simon Says Stamp background stamp. It's called You Matter. It's one of my most used background stamps. I love it. I love the messages on it. But I just wanted something with small text on it. Now, here, let's start with white, since that's the order I'm going in. Okay, now, this is going to be a pretty good demonstration. What did I use the first time? I think I used, hang on. Hang on, I'm thinking. Okay, now I'm not gonna love this on here, but I wanted to show you the difference. This is the charcoal gold, which on white cardstock is a charcoal color. It's like a brownish gray color. It'll be okay. Just wouldn't be what I would normally do on here. But I want to be able to show you the difference between the black and the white. Okay, so you got that. Yeah, it looks pretty cool. Isn't that neat? So you can see it will stamp detail because those letters are stamped very nice in detail. Now, let's do the same thing on the black. And this will look very different because remember, these inks look very different if you're stamping on light or stamping on dark cardstock. This is where it's really cool. This ink pad, like, it doesn't look like something I would reach for a lot, but the gold, it gets gold on black and it is so cool. Now I know there are a lot of techniques you can do with these, but I'm sticking with the like the basics of these, using them with our basic tools that we all have. Now let me heat set this. I'm fascinated with the product too, Terry. The past few days, I've just been playing a lot because I wanted to be able to show lots of things. Because, you know, if somebody does decide to invest in a new line of inks, or even just a couple, you want to make sure that they're worth it. So look at this. Watch this. That gold, come on. Isn't that amazing? So these two, sorry, let me put it up here. These two were done with the exact same ink pads. Isn't that fun? Come on. Come on. Just love it. I love it. And I could do it on here too. I'm not going to take the time, but you can see how that looks. Let me show you one that I did off screen. Somebody asked why I switched Misties. I have a few Misties because I think it's the greatest tool ever. This one doesn't have a sticky mat in it, so I can use the thicker cling, right? This one, I keep a waffle flower grip mat in there, and it's thick. It replaces the foam. So this is what I use for clear stamps. It's just because I'm lazy and I don't want to take that sticky mat in and out. Okay, I'll clean this later. Let me show you another one I did. This one was really cool. So this is the test I did. I used the same organic leaves background stamp, but instead of that You Matter text that I did in gold, I used the Gina K Elegant Script. I love this background stamp. It used to be available in cling. Now she has her, Gina has her backgrounds available in clear. And I just think it's a fun, like, just to add some layered interest. And I did that on this one. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Same colors, different background stamp on top. Just fun. And then this one is the mint where I used those inks and I did the stamping on top too. Isn't that fun? These are very opally. It has this opally, I feel like it's very opally on white cardstock, but then it's much more va-va-voom on dark. Does that make sense? Yes, Misty is on sale right now over at on their website. You can see that on my sales page. What is the name of the gold? The gold that I used here was the charcoal gold shimmer, okay, or charcoal gold. Let me show you. This one's a good one to demonstrate with. If I take this and I smear it onto an ink pad, it's like, or onto a cardstock, it's like that dark charcoal color, right? But that's, the interference is gold shimmer. See that gold shimmer? But then if you did this on black cardstock, it'll be very gold. And when it dries, it gets even more gold. These, let me show you, it gets a lot more intense when it dries. Yes, they're water reactive. At the beginning, I showed that if you splatter water on them, it, you know, I'll show it again. It leaves a really cool effect. You can also watercolor. See, there's splattered water on it. So they are water reactive. Look at. So these two are the same, this one and this one. So that is the charcoal gold. It's the one I didn't think I would really like, but I end up using a lot because of that gold. All right, let me move on to the next thing. So we've covered stamping. We've covered blending. Let's do a quick die cut thing. Because I haven't, this is just, I thought this one's quick. I've been wanting to use this die. Yeah, these will be great for Christmas cards. I think they'd be great with like Simon Hurley's paste too. His paste will give you like that texture. This gives you the opportunity to do like blending or stamping too. I don't know. I think they'll all go together great. All right. I thought I would show you that you can use these on die cuts. One thing you can do is like, you know, color cardstock either white or black with the ink pad, let it dry or heat set it, you get that shimmer, and then die cut something from it. So that's what I did with like all of these little swatches. I smeared, or I did ink blending on white cardstock and black cardstock, and then I die cut it. So you can die cut these very nicely. So you can have shimmery die cuts. But I thought, I had started this card and I thought I would go ahead and add some shimmer to it. So this is the Moth something. What's this called, Mike? Moth. It's Concord and 9th. It's in the description. It's a background die. And what's nice is you can, it doesn't have a cut outer edge, so you can do it on the front like a window.
Mystic Moth.
Mystic Moth. I want to name products when I grow up. Okay, so look at the detail that it gives. See all that detail? So this is great for die cut inlay. And believe it or not, there's really not that much effort to inlay these. A lot of the detail is just added with the faux piercing and such. So what I did already here, this is a white note card. I had a white note card and I put a piece of double-sided adhesive sheet on it. And then I peeled it off and I put the outline die cut that's in the mint color. And then I just started inlaying all the different colors that I cut all with the same die. I love this die. They also came out with the floral one recently, which I don't know where it is, but it would also work for this. But what I thought I would do is, so all this is done in cardstock scraps that I had. I thought it'd be fun to add a little shimmer to the wings and then glue these onto the inlay on the background. So just to remind you that you can use these inks with die cuts. Now let me find what I was looking for here. I think I'm going to show you can use a blending brush. You can use a blending brush for this. That's what Lisa does. I don't have enough blending brushes. I've ordered more of these Altenew mini ink blending brushes so that I can have some just for this ink line. Whatever inking tool you use, keep it for this ink line. I recommend the Tim Holtz foam. I think it works great, but let me just show you, you can use a blending brush. I do think because of the pigment property, it might get a little gunky, but you can always just rub it very firmly against a cloth and it'll soften up again. All right, so this is the charcoal gold that I've been talking about. I'm gonna do like a little gold on the edge. So I'm kind of going on the tip and just kind of blending into nothing. So it's like kind of half gold, half black. And this will just add a little bit of shine to what otherwise would have been a pretty, you know, plain black cardstock die cut. So you can see how easy it is to do this. So you could do this on around the edge of a card. You could do this on sentiment on your card so it stands out. I'm just doing it on the moth. Did I say butterfly? The moth wings. All right. Can you scroll it, Mike? All right, so now let's put them on here so you can see the shimmer. Yeah, you definitely want different inking tools for this. That is for sure. Because you do not want to get, it has dye and pigment properties, and you don't want your brushes that are for dye inks to get pigment ink on them. Does that make sense? Hi, Betsy. All right. Now I'm just going to glue these on so you can see it all in the end. Give me some other questions, Mike.
If you could pick like two or three, what would your favorite colors be?
Oh, see, now here's the thing. Somebody asked, 2 or 3, what would my favorite colors be? It really depends on what ink, like what colors you commonly use. Some that are really cool, I think are really cool and I've been using a lot is the lemon candy because it's bright yellow on white, but then it's gold or rose, like a rose gold on black. The one I just showed you, charcoal on white and then bright gold on black. And then I use the peacock tails a lot. It's like a teal to purple, but it really just depends on what you think you might use a lot. Like if you use a lot of, if you want to use this on black cardstock and use a lot of green, then maybe lavender fields because it gives you the green on black cardstock. So the answer is really whatever color you seem to use in crafting a lot. We all have different colors we reach for. What about stamping with an embossing folder? I will show you embossing folders soon. That's on my agenda for today, if I don't run out of time. All right. Almost done here. What else? Any other questions, Mike? Yeah, at Simon, you can buy them individually, or I think there's one bundle right now. I think these come from overseas, so it takes some time, but they should be on pre-order if they have sold out. Do you think I can use the same brushes in my oxide? I would not use the same brushes as your oxide because these have that mica interference in it. I think it's mica, and I'm afraid that would get on your oxide ink pads, so I wouldn't do it. Really, the most cost-effective thing to do would be to get a tool. It comes in packs of 2 tools, and then get a pack of replacement foams. And you just designate a foam to each color, and it's much less expensive than buying a tool for each color. Does that make sense? Hoping that makes sense. Yeah, I would definitely keep these inks separate. And I think if Lisa's still here, she would agree. Is this word stamp available? Oh, you matter? Yeah, it should be in the description. Okay, so now it's black here, but look at that gold shine on the wings. Doesn't that just make it cool? Very simple, but it just gives that little bit of shine on the wings, that interference kind of color shifting shine. Really fun, isn't it? All of the inks and everything I'm using, including this die from Concord and 9th, is in the description below. Or right at the top, there will be a link that says live. Click that, and there'll be an information on some things that are on sale, and then a supply list, a visual supply list. Brienne just posted it. Isn't that pretty?
I put those 3 you mentioned at the end of the supply list.
Okay. The 3 that I mentioned that I like, that might be good to try, are at the end of the supply list. You might have to refresh the page. If you stamp a more solid image in black, will the interference work on the black ink? My guess is yes. My guess is yes. Yes, Lisa said keep your blending tools separate. Isn't that fun? I just love that on the die cut. I just think that that shimmer is so pretty. And I thought it looked really cool on this design in particular. Okay, so that is on die cutting. And of course, remember, you could just cover your cardstock, either blend or go direct to paper, let it dry, and then die cut from that. And it'll die cut beautifully. It doesn't get messed up by the die cut machine or by die cutting. All right, so that's die cutting. Let's take a vote. Do you want to do stenciling? Oh, shoot. Stenciling, embossing folder, or a wet, hot mess first? Tell me which one you want first, and I'll answer some questions. I'm not doing hot foiling with it. I don't have time for that. But it does work with better press, I'll tell you. Let's see. Can you buy ThinkPads individually? Yep. Yep, they're listed below. There's a link in the description that takes you to all of them, where you can see the individual ones, the first link. The second link is where you buy a bundle. What are you using to clean this ink off stamps? I don't clean stamps often. Unless I'm switching to something else, I used Ultra Clean, which is a spray. A lot of companies have stamp cleaners and they're all similar. This is Hero Arts. I've had this for like 20 years. So let's see. What did people vote for? Oh my goodness. It looks even. I'm going to do them all. All right. Embossing folder. We'll do embossing folder next. I will do them all though, unless I run out of time. Can we make sure Lila's alive up there? Just thinking. I don't know what she's doing. Okay. So let me get my stuff together. Okay, we're going to do embossing folder. This is black Tim Holtz Heavystock. That's the black I've been using a lot. You could use other black cardstocks. I'm just telling you, this is as dark black as they come, okay? So I've already done the embossing folder on it. You can barely see. You see there's snowflakes in it. Do you see those snowflakes? I did these with the Filigree Snowflake 3D embossing folder from Simon Says Stamp. This is one of those embossing folders. It's a 3D embossing folder, so some parts are really raised high and some are just raised a little bit and everywhere in between. So this one has a lot of detail to it, and it's more subtle. But with this technique, it'll stand out. I did not get the reinkers when I bought mine. Lisa was very kind because I said I bought them all and I loved them. She just offered to send me the reinkers. So I have them coming, but I don't know that you need them right away. But I do know there are techniques that you can do with the reinkers, kind of like with distress inks and oxide inks, fun things you can do with the reinkers. So that is something to keep in mind, but you could always do the reinkers later on. It's up to you. Do you want to say hi? She just came from the swimming pool. Are you cold?
No, I don't want to.
Take a shower because we're going to the concert tonight. Okay, good. Okay, so this I did, you can't see it, but I used this embossing folder. It's a 3D embossing folder with the black Heavystock. You can barely see it. I am going to put it onto my mat here. So the back side is facing up towards the camera. The back side. So this side here is where the snowflakes are raised. I'm flipping it over. So I'm doing this on the back side. And this is the embossing folder I used, so you can see. Now, let's see. Hang on. I found my colors. Here they are. Let me grab some. Let's do peacock tails first. I do a lot of peacock tails. Well, no, I also do a lot of mermaid lagoon. You know, there's a lot of good colors. Don't blame me. Blame Lisa. All right. So this is peacock tails. It's blue on white, purple on black. I have a Tim Holtz brayer. I really like his brayers because they just take ink nicely. You can pop the wheel off to clean it. They're affordable. They're the brayers I use, but you can use any. But the brayer will do a nice even application. It won't get into the little pattern. So I am inking this up, and look at how cool I don't know if you can see the interference ink on it. Inking it up with the ink pad, and then I'm just going to roll this. Again, this is the back side of the embossing folder piece I did. You can do where you put the ink into the folder, but I thought this would be more impactful. So I just rolled those two on there. You can see it. And where the debossing is, the snowflakes is down low and the ink doesn't reach it and it'll stay black. This will look better when it's heat set. Give me a moment. Now I don't want to waste this ink. So what I'm going to do is just roll it off here a little bit and I can build up some of that ink and I can die cut it later. All right. And then I'll wipe off a little of the extra. So this is the deboss side. Yep. The raised snowflakes are facing my desk, not the camera. Okay, now let's do some summer garden. This will be, it looks green on the ink pad, but it'll be blue on the dark color cardstock. And I'm just kind of randomly, you could do stripes, but I'm just kind of going willy-nilly here, just doing random areas. All right. Starting to look really cool. Isn't that neat? It's going to look better when it dries. And then the final one I'm going to do is Tropical Paradise. This one's kind of cool because look at, on white cardstock, it's bright like peach color. But on here, it'll be like a purplish blue, like an indigo color. Let me clean this off a little bit. All right. Oh, good. Colleen says she's had these for a while and is loving them. I've been living under a rock. What happens if ink colors mix from the roller? And I think it's fine. I don't know. I'm not that super careful about things. All right. Let's see. Now let me heat set this. This will take a moment because it's really, see how wet it is? All right, wish I could be your innovative minds. Oh, any more questions? Yes, the ink is really juicy. It's very juicy. But that, I think, allows you to get really solid stamping. It allows you to get really good ink blending and allows you to do techniques like I just did. Is there a color that looks silvery, please? Not so much. I will show you the one that's closest in just a moment. But I do know Lisa has more colors coming out. I think she said that in a video, or maybe I'm making that up. What is the mat you have? The mat I'm inking on is the Altenew 9x12 sticky mat. It's in the description below. So watch this. Look at that. Isn't that cool? I don't know if I can get it. Isn't that neat? And here's one I did yesterday. Isn't that fun? So it took black and it turned it into that. Isn't that gorgeous? And you could do it on white too, but I think what's really neat here is on the black. Probably the closest to the silvery would maybe be the pink champagne, but it's got a little bit of a green tint to it. All right. Oh, somebody bought their first Cloud 9 back in 2023. I've been napping since then, playing with other things. Yes. So it has that kind of interference effect, but isn't that cool with an embossing folder? Now, let me show you another that I did off screen. So this one, where did I put it? Hang on. This one is one of my all-time favorite Gina K embossing folders. It's tapestry. I think it's sold out everywhere, but I've been using it for a long time. I love it. I did this one off screen. With this one, I did it with black cardstock, and I brayered the different colors onto the raised area. So not the back side like I did last time, onto the raised area. And look at that. Isn't that pretty? And then I used the same inks, and I did it on white, and you get that, and it's very shimmery. I don't know if you get very pearly, opally. I don't know if you can tell. But same inks, but it looks very different on white and black cardstock. All right, isn't that fun? So this is where I used brayer to roll ink over the raised area. So that's another example. And then this one here, I'll demonstrate this one because this is fun. And here's a demonstration. I've been talking about which side of the embossing folder or embossing foldered background to do. This is the Flower Buds Unfolding from Simon Says Stamp, and this is one that's on sale. Let's see here. What color should I do? I'm going to use, let me do one I haven't used much. I'll do the Milk Chocolate, which is a beautiful like sand color with the kind of rosy color interference, like a peachy color. So this is, first I'll do it on the front side. I did this embossing folder on Tim Holtz Black Heavystock, and the raised pattern, the embossed side, is what I'm working on first. I'm inking up with the Milk Chocolate Roses and rolling this on, and you'll see how the raised pattern picks up that ink and gives you that shine. I didn't really do the whole background, just most of it. All right, let me heat set this real quick. So you can see, isn't that pretty? Makes that pattern stand out even more. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, now that's on the where the pattern is embossed, it's raised up. You can flip it over, and this is where the side is debossed. So the pattern's pressed down, and it gives you a different look. Depending on which side you roll your ink pad on, this goes for any inks, but I'm just demonstrating with these today. In this case, the background has the ink. Do you get a similar look on craft as you do on black? Some of the dye ink color will show up on craft, but it'll be kind of in between. All right. So just to show you, you can put ink on the raised side, and you have the interference or ink on that, or on the background. The background I think is really cool. That's what like I did on the snowflake. Isn't that fun? Really fun. You can do the inks where you put the inks inside the embossing folder. I couldn't show everything today. I just thought this worked really well. Here's one where I did some of the purple ink. This was Lavender Field, so it gives you like a purple. No, this was Regal Gray. This gives you like a purple. And you can do it on the back too. Isn't that fun? This one's really like interference, pearlescent, opal, whatever. Catherine, you can probably ink the folder like I have done in other videos. Yeah, I just couldn't show everything today. You could use embossing powder with them because they're wet. I haven't done it. You could do it, but my guess is it would give it a shine like embossing powder does, but it might block some of that interference effect. But you can try it. All right, somebody asked, do they work well with stencils? Well, funny you should ask. All right, let's do stencils next, and then we'll do wet mess last. So yes, these work great with stencils. As you saw the blending that I did at the beginning, we're just going to do so on, this just kills me. It was sitting here and I just saw it. I love it. Oh, I love that. Okay. So yeah, you could use these with any stencils. I thought I would do layering stencils. I originally was going to show you this one, but it just takes too long to demonstrate because there's a lot of layers on it, but I'll just show you. So this is, let me show you, Altenew Charming Delight. It's a layering stencil set, and there's a coordinating die, and it does Let me show you. Beautiful floral like that. It has all the stencils. You can see all the different stencils to color the different parts. So this one doesn't have a stamp. This is just stencils. And then there's a die too. Okay. So I did this stenciling, layered stenciling, with only the interference inks on black cardstock. And look at this. Isn't that fun? Isn't that cool? So I followed the guide like I normally would do. Normally I would do like a light ink over the first, a medium ink over the next. But this time I just did different interference inks on top of each other. I think I started with like a pinkish for the bottom. Then on top of it, I put like a purplish. I just layered random ones, pink, purple, and blues together for the flowers. I did golds at the center and greens for the leaves. And isn't that beautiful? So it just gives you such a dramatic look. I just think that's gorgeous. Okay, so like you could put this onto a black note card. You could even do like an embossing folder background like that, you know, and add a simple sentiment to it. I just think that's beautiful. So yes, you can use stencils and layer these together. You could layer them with other inks. I would do, like if you were going to do with your dye inks, I would do dye inks first, and then one of the top layers be the interference ink to add some of that shimmer to it. Isn't that pretty? So that is one. This is the Charming Delight from Altenew, but it had many layers to it, and I just thought that might take too long. So I have found a simpler one, and I'll just show you that it works with stencils. And that's what I'm going to demonstrate here. So this one is Altenew Charming Delight. I'm going to try to make a card with this weekend, but who knows? Lila's got a party tomorrow. Okay, see that? Look at the blue on top here, that layer. Isn't that gorgeous? And you can see like blue details in the leaves. Really fun. Okay, so let's do a simpler stencil thing. Let's see, because that I knew that would take too long. All right, so this is Friendship Leafy Cluster. I think it's just Leafy Cluster. I don't know. They're from Simon Says Stamp. So this is on 20% off right now. And you can buy the dies, the stencils, and the stamps separate or together, all these different things. So this stamp set, let me put something white behind it, has this outline, kind of funky leaf thing, and lots of sentiments. Then there's a stencil that allows you to color in these funky leaves. I've been wanting to use this. I just haven't had a chance. I'm excited. And then there's dies that will cut out these words and those funky looking leaves. Lila is 12. Her birthday was a while ago, but it was graduation season, so you know, that's the way it goes. Okay, so I'm going to do some simple stenciling here, and I haven't practiced this yet, so I'm not sure what colors I'm going to use, but we're going to wing it. So let's see. All right. These are different. I'll do white and black cardstock again. I do like this set too, Mindy, and I haven't had a chance to use it, so I'm excited to use it today. So when I have dies that coordinate with something I'm going to stencil, I like to die cut first because it helps me to line things up better. So let me put something white under here so I can see better. So you can see how it's lined up with my black die cut. Good enough. All right, I think I will use, I'm going to do Summer Garden, because why not? So I get my Summer Garden. Now, you can either go on very heavy. Let me take a scrap piece here. You can go on like very heavy. You can go on lighter. You can pounce. Let me do a little bit of both so you can see the difference. You can kind of, there's a lot of things you can do. So you can like do a pounce effect. These will dry more shimmery or interference-like, or you can spread it around, whatever you want. Okay, I'm going to do kind of a lighter amount over this. So I'm going to dab some of the ink here and then just kind of swirl it on. I want like a soft look. Again, you could go heavier here, but I'm going for light. I don't know why. So this is Summer Garden, which is green on white cardstock, blue on black or dark cardstock. So let's take this off. And I did it very light, so it's going to be a little more sheer, but look at that. All right, now let's do the same ink pad on white. Doobie-doo. Am I explaining how these inks, explaining the inks well? I'm hoping. Tell me what you think. Let's see. And look at this green. It's a pretty green. It's like a mossy kind of green. I don't know. It's really pretty. All right. I'm just gonna, I see a little bit there. Okay. Sound effects are helpful. All right, so same ink pad, but it's green on white cardstock with like a blue interference kind of color shifting effect to it. It's kind of hard to see on the video. It's really cool. And then it's blue on black cardstock. Let me clean my stencil and we'll move on to the next leaf. This is a very simple kind of layering building stencil. I have rubbing alcohol in the Spellbinders mister. I like this mister because it does, you press it and it does like an extended spray and you only need one spritz and it cleans your stencil wonderfully and very quickly. So now I'm coming in with the next one and this will color the other leaves and some of it will overlap with what we've done and some of it won't. Get that white paper under here. All right. Thank you all. I switched medicines this week and I'm like weaning off one and getting on another. Have you ever done that? And you like are not yourself. Like I'm kind of off, shaky, kind of. So I almost didn't go live because I was afraid, but I felt good enough. So I decided to go for it. By the way, this is what I'm going to keep my tools like this in. I think I'll keep my interference ones in here because I have a bunch of these tools. I bought a bunch. This is a nice little tray that's kind of affordable. It's from Simon Says Stamp and it's in the description below. But it holds these tools and these blending brushes very nicely. But I think I'm going to put my inking tools like this in here. Okay. What should I do next? Let's see. How about Tropical Paradise? No, I did a bluish color. I did summer. Let's do Lavender Fields. Okay. I have to find my Lavender Fields thing because I'm not putting anything away because I'm being bad. All right. Okay. So this one is going to be green on dark cardstock and purple on white. Whatever the pad color is what it looks like on white. Is interference the same as holographic? I don't know. Maybe it's kind of holographic-y. It's like, to me, it's like a color shifting shine. Does that make sense? Like you look at it straight on and it just looks kind of dull, but then you shift it and it's got like this purplish blue. I don't know. It's called magic. So this is going to give us a green color. And again, I'm putting it on pretty light. You could put it on heavier if you want, but I wanted something kind of sheer. But this just shows you they're great for stenciling. Oh gosh, that's so cute. Look at this. Isn't that pretty? Okay, now on the white die cut, on white paper, this will be purple. So, doobie-doo. Let's line it up. All right, on this I'll do the purple. So this is the same, I use the same two ink pads, Summer Garden and Lavender Fields, on both of these die cuts. It's just different color cardstock to start with will give us different results. So this one's gonna be a green and purple leaf. Kind of fun. All right, so this will have, let me dry them so you get the full effect. Color shifting is a great, yeah. Anybody who has these inks out there, tell me what words you would describe what interference is. Color shifting, opal-y, opalescent, I don't know.
Talk about the dots on top of them.
What I did? Okay, I will. Just a second. Let me heat set this. I put such a thin layer on it. Okay, so this one is on black. And you can see, can see that, the shine you get on the two. Isn't that fun? I actually like the green and purple together, but same ink colors. We're done to do these. And now what I'll do off screen, if I can find it. It's getting to the point of the live where I can't find anything. There is a stamp set that stamps the outline. What the heck? I don't know where I put it. There is a stamp set that stamps the outline of the leaves, and I'll probably do that with a white pigment ink so it's real soft. Do you see it, Mike? It ran away. I just had it, so it can't be too much underneath things. Oh well, I'll have to do it later. But I can stamp the outline on top of it. It's not in the MISTI because I didn't get the stamp out. I just got the stamp set. I showed it to you. It has sentiments that are on it. Oh, there it is. Mike found it. Yes. Oh, Claire. Claire, you're my favorite person because Claire said it right. There is a lot of mica that rises to the surface as the ink dries. Yes, when you first put it down like on black when it's really wet, the shine of the wetness, I guess, doesn't show the mica as much. So when it dries, the mica becomes more intense. Very good. Good to say that. Thank you. All right. I'm going to try this real quick. I'll probably mess it up at this point, but what do you do? I lose. It was right next to me. Okay. It's sorcery, I say. Yes, it is. Now I'm going to do my best to line this up quickly. I'd probably spend a little more time. It moved. Hang on. Iridescence, that's good, Paula, yep. I might need a stickier mat than this because my stamp is new, so it's really sticky. Let's see if I can, there we go. Okay, I think I'll do white just for a subtle outline. So I'm gonna do, this is Hero Arts Unicorn White. Doop. All right. Oh, that's cool. You could heat emboss something on here if you wanted to. You could heat emboss first, like maybe a gold outline, and then have the interference. But, all right, there you go. Isn't that cool? That shine. I love it. I love it. And then for this one, I'm not going to do it now, but I would just do black outline. Okay? All right, so that shows you can do stenciling. You can layer the colors on top of each other because they have a pigment ink property to them, they have a pigment in them. That means it kind of sits on top of the paper too, so you can layer them without like mixing of colors. The stamp set and stencils and dies this leaf is called Leafy Cluster. So there are dies, there's a stamp set, and there are the stencils, and there's stencils that color both of them. And you can buy them all separate or together. And this is a Simon Says Stamp branded product, which is 20% off right now. The information's in the description below. Okay, so that shows stenciling. They stencil beautifully. And remember, this one I did with lots of layering, and you get that really cool look. I wish you could see it in real life because it's much better in real life. Okay. One last thing, the hot mess one. Yeah, I love it. All right, let's see. Yeah, I did not go to the craft show. There's a craft show in Vegas this week. Here's the thing, Vegas in July just didn't sound like fun to me. And I knew my son would be leaving for college soon, yet he's not even here. He went to a lake with one of his buddies, so. But he's on his way home. Is he still going?
Yeah. Okay,
hang on. I need a breather. Are there more questions before I do the messy one? Okay. If you want the black color on white cardstock, could you pre-stamp on black, then stamp with interference ink? Yes, I think you definitely could. Yes. So say you want a white background, but you want this interference look, You could stamp the image first with black ink and then stamp with this on top of it. I just let it dry in between. Should work great. Oh, these dots, the dots. Did somebody ask? Okay, how do you add the dot? Okay, so what I did for these dots, so Lisa designed the label. I have something stuck to my foot. Lisa designed the label so that what's on the left-hand side is the dye ink color, or the color it is on white cardstock or light cardstock. And the color that's on the right-hand side of the label is the color it would be on dark cardstock. I just wasn't remembering that. So what I did is I just put some of the ink on white cardstock, dried it, and then die cut a circle and glued it on here. So I know this is on light cardstock and this is what it looks like on dark. But you could just go by her label. I might go put like a W on this because it's white cardstock and a B on here because it's black, but I can tell. So those are my little color swatches so that I didn't have to refer to these swatches. I could just look at the ink pad cover. Does that make sense? So Mike made, are they up on the site? Yeah. Mike made the free download for all of them on, and it's on my website. So you can make your own ink swatches if you wanted to. Okay, yeah, I wiped my brayer clean. I always do after I'm done because I don't want to accident. Sometimes if you leave ink on the brayer, you don't realize it's inky and you will grab it. So I just wipe it clean with a baby wipe or a cloth, wet cloth, right away so that it's not on there. Karen asked, is the new waffle flower grip mat stronger than the old one? Yes, it is. They came out with a version 2 and it is stickier. It's great. I like the first one, but the second one's even better, I guess. I did a live on that. I don't know if it maybe was my last live or the live before that. I'm not sure, but I did a live doing a comparison, but yeah, it is stickier than before, the one before. But if you have one now and the first waffle flower grip mat and you're happy with it, stick with that. It'll be fine. Brianne put a link to this, all my ink swatch downloads. They're free over on my website. Thank you, Brianne. And you can make your own little swatches. Okay, let's do an inky mess. Whew, this is hard to do live. I've never done an inky mess live. And already I don't know where one of the things is I needed it for it. Let me find something, hang on. I want to do mine with, oh man, I don't know where I put it. I like to use a little, maybe I put it over here. Oh, I found it. I was prepared. I put it on the tray of things to use today. I like to do this technique with an acrylic block, but I'll tell you other ways you can do it. What we're going to do is like the old technique that works great with distress inks, where you put ink on your desk, like on a glass work surface, spritz it with water, and then press your ink or your paper into it. But I like to instead use an acrylic block so I can kind of control. I have control issues. My therapist and I talk about it all the time. And yeah. So I use the acrylic block to make it easier. Hang on. I need my ink stand. So the good news is, I haven't tried this yet, Brianne. Does this fit? Oh, it's just a little too big. She's gonna have to make us bigger ink stands, Brianne. How I can stay so tidy for so long, Lisa, I am a mess, I assure you. Okay, I am going to play around here with different colors. Let's use one I haven't used yet. Where is Regal Gray? Let's do some Regal Gray. Now, I'm gonna do different colors. I'm gonna do it once on black and once on white. I'm not gonna use the same ink pads on both because this one is purple on black but gray on white. And the chances of finding 3 ink pads that look pretty together on black and that also look together pretty on white is tough. So let's do the black first. Okay, so I'm just gonna pick some random ones. Let's do, let me think. Summer Garden, no. Hang on, I'm thinking what I want to do here. I think I'll do, what colors? Let's do Regal. I haven't done Regal. Okay, Regal Gray. So what you can do is press this onto your work surface. I have a glass work surface. Spritz it with water and then just kind of tap your cardstock around in it. I like to have a little more control. So what I do is I press the ink pad onto an acrylic block. So there's lots of ink on there, okay? Then I spray it with some water till it's wet, and I just tap the color on. Kind of work it around in different areas. So I'm going to do that big messy area there. And it's not going to look like much because remember, you start to see the shimmer or the pearlescent or opalescent or whatever you want to call it once it's dry. Okay, next I'm going to do, let's do one I haven't done. Let's do some ripe mango. So I'll look at it on here, press it on here. It's going to look orange, but it'll look different on the white cardstock. So I'm going to wet that. So now it's wet, and I'm going to kind of, sometimes I like to go off and kind of work it on. Kind of just tap it along. All right. You can do so many techniques. Yes, Miriam, you can do a lot with these. And yeah, gel printing. I think this would be really fun on gel, on a gel plate. I haven't tried that. I'm just, you know, was running out of time to try things, but I think it would definitely work. So yeah, you can do this with any kind of wet kind of backgrounds. By putting it onto this, I can tap some of it off here, and then I just kind of work it onto the background on here. It just gives me, I don't know, a little more control. I don't know what, maybe I shouldn't do that. Maybe I don't need to do that. I shouldn't worry that much, but I am who I am, okay? It's the way it is. So let's leave that. All right, let me clean this off. Yeah, it is a good use for acrylic blocks since I don't use acrylic blocks much anymore. Okay, now it doesn't look like much yet, but let me heat set it. All right. Oh, this is so fun. And this is one of those techniques that whenever you're using water with ink, it's going to look like a hot mess at first, but once it dries, it's going to look really cool. Can you scroll it, Mike? All right. Okay, so doesn't look like much there, but watch this. Boom, and it's not even completely dry yet. Isn't that cool? I just think that's so neat. So here are some others I did. Here's another one I did. Isn't that neat? Oh my gosh. Yeah, so yeah, you could use a plastic wrap method. There's a lot of different methods you could use for that. But I just wanted to show you can use these inks with water to do fun inky backgrounds. Isn't that fun? Here's another one. Use more water with that. This one I did directly into it. Isn't that fun? So that is on black, and you can get that big time shine on it. Now let's do on white. Okay. I'm going to use Summer Garden first. So, yes, there are re-inkers available, and I know there's techniques you can do with them, but you know, if you're not ready to invest in that much, I don't think you'll need them for a while. So I'm doing kind of the same thing I did last time. I'm using different colors though, just because I know some of those just won't work as mixed together as well on the white. And again, you could just go like this right into it, you know. So I did some Summer Garden there. Next I'm gonna do, let's do Lavender Fields. And let's do Peacock Tails. Let me see. Peacock Tails and Mermaid Lagoon. Mermaid Lagoon is just beautiful. No, let's do Mermaid Lagoon instead of Peacock Tails, because I haven't done that one yet. I don't think. I don't remember. At this point, I don't remember. Okay, so Mermaid Lagoon next. beautiful color. Remember, if I did this on black, it would be completely different colors. Ah, that's so pretty. All right, and then can you put the ink pad on a sticky mat? I can, but I like the ink stands, but it's just a little bit too big for the distress shaped inkstand. All right, let's do lavender fields. Let's get some purple in there. Oh, prior prep. Thank you, Kat. Kat, I found that my nerves are better when I prep some, and I feel like I can make better use of your time. Like if I've kind of thought things through a little bit. Oh my gosh. Should I do another color in here? Let's do like a more of a blue. We'll do the peacock tails. All right. It does look very oceany. It's a beautiful day here today. I almost thought, should I not do a live and instead go on like a 12-hour walk? But then I know. These are too fun. Okay, so this is the Mermaid Lagoon. I just kind of walk it on there, and some of it can overlap. I just wanted it to be kind of the 4 colors in the corners and then kind of going together in the middle. Okay, look at that. Mike doesn't get as excited about this stuff, so I wish I could hear everybody's oohs and ahs when they like something, because not so crafty Mike is not so crafty. Okay, so let me heat set this. Crafting versus exercise. Yeah, Rosie. So I'm kind of addicted to working out. I never thought I'd say that. Okay. Okay. So now it's beautiful color, right? But you also have that color shifting. So here, look in this color here. See how it's poolish color? But if you tilt it, you see the purple, right? Same kind of thing up here. On this, you can see a little bit of that. It's like opal-y looking. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. And here's one I did earlier. Just a fun background, really fun background. I don't know. Everybody's got a different like style they like. So I wanted to do, oh, it does match my nails. Just show a lot of different things so you could get an idea like how, if this is something that you would want to try. Oh, that would look cool. So I'll stamp the outline of the leaves on this in black, and this would be a great background for it. Isn't that pretty? I'd like to know what I'm doing ahead of time when I plan it. Yeah, I got to think about it ahead of time. So I think that's it. I will take the different swatches out while I answer a few more questions. And then we'll wrap it up. Would you wipe with a tissue after, oh, somebody already asked. Okay. How about stamping first on black? I got that one. If a foam for each color family, do you use the color, where'd it go?
Sorry.
Oh dear, it ran away. If you use a foam for each color family, do you use the color it is on white paper or on black? So what I have here is I put the name of the ink pad. So this is the Tropical Paradise. Since the foam is white, the color of the foam, the color on when it's on the white foam will be what it would be on white cardstock. Does that make sense? So let me get this out. So let's look at the first one. This is the Tropical Paradise. On a white foam pad, it looks pink because the foam pad is pink, right? I can't change that. So it's pink on the white cardstock, but it's that interference kind of blue indigo color on black. So that's why I labeled it. So I put a little label on there. I felt like because it's like one ink pad offers very different color on light or dark cardstocks, I felt it was important to swatch and to label really good because I don't want to have to think too hard. So that just makes it better. Mary Kay, thank you for this super chat. Thank you. I appreciate that. We're going to a concert tonight. We'll get ice cream afterwards. How's that? All right. So anyways, I mean, this is just it's really cool. It's just fun. As for colors, again, really think about, just look at the different swatches and think about what colors you would reach for often. And I do feel like some of them have a little more drastic result than others, but it really depends. So this is one of the sets, and this is one of the other sets. I focused on these today because I felt like that set had a lot of brighter colors on white. So that's why I went for that. They're very juicy. I don't think you need a re-inker right away, but there are techniques that would be good for re-inkers. I'm not going through those today because I don't have the re-inkers myself yet. I didn't want to invest in the re-inkers without trying them first. So there you go. Is there a green to gold on black? So let's see. A green to gold. I don't see a green to purple. And this one is like a green to blue. Ah, cool. What's my favorite ice cream? Heidi, I don't actually eat much ice cream. I like it, but not enough. But I like to take my kids to get it. Do you use the brush holder you linked to store your Tim Holtz blending tools? Yeah, so the container I linked to below is this one, and it fits these little mini blending tools very nicely. I just got it. You can also put these tall ones in it, these mini blending brushes, but I have mine in a different container, but I found this one fits these like a glove. When will Lila make her appearance again? I don't know. That girl's busy. She's busy. She went to the pool today with a friend. All right. Any other questions? I think I got the rest of those. What's the best technique with these? Let me see. My two favorites of the ones that I did, would be the stamping with them. So I stamped the same image twice, just rotating with two different colors, and then I did the gold text on top. I love that. And then this, I mean, come on. So that I just kind of ink blended in kind of splotchy way on the black cardstock. And then I splattered or spattered some of the charcoal gold onto it. Isn't that fun? There we go. All right. Oh, another thing that would be fun is like, you could take this background and then take the Simon Hurley solar paste and like gold glitter and put some stenciling on top of this too. So that would give you some texture, some dimension to it. I love layering up different mediums like that. Yeah, I do like the gold text on top. That really, I mean, come on. That's just gorgeous. And it looks great in the white too, but it's on the black. And I think there's something really dramatic about on dark. I mean, so you could do navy or dark green. You can do other dark colors. I just think the black is most impactful. And even on here, it's charcoal colored ink for the text, but it still has the gold shine to it. It's hard to see in the video, but it has some of that gold color shifting too. All right, I think that's it. Heidi asked if Lila would start a YouTube channel for crafting and crocheting. Here's the thing with Lila. Lila is a crafter who goes deep into a craft for like 6 months and then stops abruptly and moves on to a new craft. So she did hardcore crocheting things for many months, and now she's on to gluing little bling to like cover a water bottle. Like this is Tisa. She's on Instagram, beautiful human who does amazing art where she covers things with bling, and that's what Lila's into right now. It's like bedazzling, but to the millionth degree. So I think, did I get everything?
I wonder where she got that.
Yeah, she probably got, see, that's why I'm afraid to try other hobbies. I tend to go all in. So, you know, like I'll see a hobby online or like something somebody does and I'm like, ooh, that would be fun. I'm like, no. because that slippery slope takes me deep. All right, I think that's it. 2 hours exactly, almost exactly. How's that? All right, so again, everything I talked about is in the description below. I'm not sure I can do a shortened version of this because it was all...
It's more of a technique thing.
It's more technique demonstrations where it's just a lot. There is a sale at Simon Says Stamp right now. The sale is on all Simon Says Stamp brand products. These inks aren't Simon Says Stamp brand, but a lot of the stencils and stamps and such that I use today are, and some of the tools. So I just wanted to mention that because I noticed that sale before this morning. The holder, it should be, that holder tool organizer should be in the description list. If it's not, I'll add it. But I thought it was in there. I think it's towards the bottom. I swore it was in there.
You spelled brush wrong.
It says
brush holder.
It says brush holder. It's supposed to be brush holder. But yeah, it's in the description. All right, well, thank you. Thank you. I hope you had as much fun as I did with these inks. I bought them because I heard that they were great and really impressed with them. So I just wanted to share how fun they are. So, all right. Thank you everyone for watching. I appreciate you spending this time with me. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I may go live Sunday afternoon. Sunday evening. I may. Depends on how the weekend goes. So I may see you then. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care.